Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel on this Li125 rebuild. Right, so what we're going to do now is take the clutch out, take the gearbox off, take the crankshaft out, piston and barrel. So I'm going to start with the clutch compressor. Stick it on here. And on here. What you basically want is that to go in the middle. They always seem to be offset, these, but all you need to do is turn it in, take the friction off of this spring here, which has been put in wrong by somebody, but you know, we can sort that out. So I'm going to put the springs in. Just get a screwdriver, a little one or a big one, and just prise that out like so. There you go. That's the spring off, so we can let go of the clutch mechanism now. We can inspect it as we go on. So let that slacken off. You can actually take the clutch plates, if you undo it fully, one by one. See, they'll slide off and through. The top plate looks all right. Yeah, they're in good nick. I'm quite happy with that. I'll take all them off. They're a bit stuck, but I think that happens quite a lot. If a scooter's been standing a while, it's freezing today. Everyone's getting snowed in at the moment. That one, and two, that one. And all I'm doing is just sticking them back in. As they came out, basically, I'm just going to undo the clutch compressor and we can put that out of our way. And what we're going to need to do is just save the springs, which seem like they've been upgraded anyway. So I'll just put the clutch tool there for a moment. There we go. Well, that's our clutch pressure plate. And then I just need to get that spring that's fallen on the floor. And I'm going to put them into, I've got a little cup, and I'm putting all the small little bits in as we get them. Chain all of these little tabs, I'll be changing them anyway, so we can knock them out of the way. So I'm just going to get a hammer. And that screwdriver will do. And what we've got to do now is is just knock these tabs flat. Like so. And that one for the clutch. That'll do. Hammer down. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put the clutch mechanism to one side and the clutch compressor I'll stick over there for the time being. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the cylinder off. I don't think there's any fast rule to what you need to do. I've noticed as well, we've got one stud that's stuck in there, been broken off. I don't know what's gone on there, but I think somebody's tried to square off a circular hole, but that's where the stand goes when you're changing your wheel. So what we're going to do is just turn the engine around like so, and we just need to do the cylinder head bolts. I'm just going to get a better socket set. They should be 13 or 14 mil. depending on, I think they look like 13, so yeah, we'll take the nut out of there. That's the captive nut. There's a washer missing as usual, but right, let's get the socket set. And what we're going to do is do them crisscross, Scottish flag, whatever you want to call it. Put that on the socket, on the ratchet. Start on the bottom one, just give it a turn, then go to this one. They are nice and tight. That one. And that one. So much easier when somebody's already part stripped the bike down. So much easier. So I'm going to put that nut in, take these off, and again these should have wavy washers under them, which I can't see any. Two. Very, very long studs. I mean, they're out good distance outside the head. Normally they're only just deep enough to get a bolt, a nut on them and a washer. So just free that off slightly. Put your hand there to catch any washers, which I can't see any on there. I cannot see a single washer on that. I'm getting worried now. Right. Been running all right, nice and brown, like soot. I'll put that head somewhere safe, and I'll turn that around a bit more. That's the trouble with this Mac. Right. That just looks like a standard GP150 barrel to me. I'll have a look when, see if we can just pull this off. No, I'm going to have to get a bigger screwdriver and just wedge it slightly. Put a screwdriver there. Does seem tight on the piston, to be honest. Well, we got a gasket, so that's something. You can reuse these if they're not too damaged. I won't be, but it's a higher compression one. Slider off. There we go. It just looks like it's a 151 that's just been ported, so let's have a look at the piston. Get a rag on it. .97, 62. Oh, it's got circlips on it, so all is not lost. And just didn't bother to clean it up, did they? I'll show you what I've got, which the barrel does look in good nick. But that was what I was thinking of using on it. I've got an aluminium 168 barrel, and it's so much lighter than that. Well, I probably will go with that. looking what, if it's got a standard stroke, what size it would be. The gudgeon pin should just fall through then with a little bit of pressure. The other side. Don't need a lot. The piston will expand very, very quickly. I won't be surprised if, looking at this now, this is all Li. Hopefully that should be enough. It's like the lip on the piston is stopping that from pushing through. See what I mean? It's just not pushing through. There we go. I'm just gonna, because I need to be here, I'm just gonna cut away while I push it through. Most of the way through now. There we go. And we need the small end bearing. Won't be using that, but take it out. What we're going to be doing now is, that's the circlip that came out. They look too small. I'm just going to be getting out my my gun and just undoing this. This is, as you know, as I've said before, a reverse thread, so tightening it is undoing it. I did spray some anti-lock into it, and it does look like it's an original Li crankshaft. So let's get the gun out and plug her in. Have it on the other way. I just need to get a socket. There we go. With an impact gun, you can just hold it with your hand basically, and it should do this. See what I mean? So easy. You don't need the holder. You only need the holder really when you're putting it back together again. I'll put that socket back in its box, so we can take that off. And I still can't see if there's a washer under there. I think the person who built this engine must have been averse to using washers, but we have a tool which should fit it. There we go. Make sure it's screwed in as much as you can. And what we can do as well, we can use the gun on there, or socket basically, and just tighten that in. This looks like a good flywheel actually, so I'll just get a socket out. I'll do that. I think it's a 14. There we go. It might be that's put the holder on. There we go. Maybe it wasn't me pushing it in far enough, but I've never known it go that far in before. Oh, there's our flywheel. It looks a pretty standard Scooters India stator plate, which will be perfect for what we want. What we're basically going to be doing is the earth from here, we'll be tagging that onto another yellow, so we'll have 2 yellows when we rewire this. And if you've seen any of my videos before, I've explained or tried to explain what full wave rectification is. No, there wasn't a bloody washer in there. Ah, these people. So we'll use a medium length on a small socket and a 10. There we go. Start anywhere basically. 1, 2, 3. Save all these bolts, they're very rarely rusty, and I'll give you an update on the stuff, just a load of rusty screws and bolts that I put in into a solution a couple of days ago, and they're bubbling away. So I'll take this one off. It's always best practice when you do this, take the stator plate and put it back in the flywheel. And as you probably notice, I haven't, if you were going to rebuild this engine, you were happy with the timing, then obviously just put a mark. You know, somebody's put marks here all over the place on this, but that's what you get on old old mag housings. Right, that was 2, and we got some washers. Hey, I don't know if you can see that little washer. They will be replaced anyway. We're on our last one. When you're getting a second-hand engine like this and you're reusing parts, like I'm going to be reusing the no washer on that one. So we had 1 washer. Why should I complain? This will all be rewired anyway. So I'm going to stick that back inside the flywheel and then put that safe. As I say, this will all be rewired with grey sleeve on it anyway. Excuse me, I found a bolt. I've just got to clean up the threads on it for a die. Stick all the ones I don't want back in. Right, so that's nearly out. I'm sure you can appreciate that thread's a lot cleaner. We'll stick that in the bottom of here, and then what we do is we just tighten them so that they you can feel them touching the side of the engine casing, because what we want to do is a bit on each just to wiggle it out. So that one's already just touching, so it don't turn. This one, you will feel it when it touches like there. So do it half a turn, go to that one, half a turn, back to that one, half a turn, half a turn, half a turn, half a turn. In fact, do that one a full turn, and then that one half a turn. And what's happening is it's pushing against the engine casing and pulling off the mag. I don't know if you can see on the screws, it's coming out. So we go half a turn, half a turn, half a turn. It should only get tight as you get to the bottom of each half a turn. It's got to come in a bit closer there. Half a turn. I'll do 1 turn at a time now. 1 turn. 1 turn. one turn, and I can already see that's virtually on the edge of them studs. So one turn, one turn. It'll get to the stage where you'll be able to pull it off yourself. So one turn, one turn. Once it goes past these stud holes, be able to spin it as well. So we'll go one turn, coming off nice, one turn, one turn, one turn, one turn, one turn. You can get a hammer if you're not using it and just tap it. So one turn, one turn. It will get to a stage where it just becomes free, should fall off. One turn, one turn. You see why you need long bolts now. One turn, one turn. Still fighting me. One turn. Do another one on this one. One turn. One, two, three. I think that's actually off. Maybe not. It did feel like it was loose enough to come off. There you go. And that looks like an Li original crank to me. So we will be reusing the circlip. These bearings it is what it is. Like I keep saying, it's not a new scooter. So I'm going to just save these bolts, take them out of there. And I've got to order a fan cowling, mag side, whatever you want to call it, cowling fan. Like I say, you can weld them up. I've seen them welded up. Not worth the hassle. Silhol Uni are pretty good. Never had a problem with them. The only time I have a problem is people doing what they've done here. They've had the bolts basically locked in and decided to hammer them out and break them. But, I'll zip up then. And what we're going to be doing now is the rear hub. So let's get this stuff out of the way. That's a 27 and we've got a 5. I'll put that out of the way. And I'll put them bits safe because I don't want to be losing any of them nuts and bolts. And judging by how sorted up it is, it's been going for a few miles, hasn't it? You know, there's a fair bit of oil in the bottom. Excuse my head. I'm just going to mop up that bit of 2-stroke oil. The casings look good, that's the main thing. A lot of play in the drive side bearing as well. Look at that. I know it's not supported, but that's excessive. Right, so what I need to do is just find the Allen bolts I've got, or Allen key set, bring that up here. And I'm hoping the gun, just by holding this, the gun frees that, It does normally, but there's always going to be one that catches out. If not, I'm going to have to lock up the rear hub. This is what happens when you tidy up, you put stuff away and you can't find it again. Are they underneath? Yeah, they're underneath, sorry. Right where my knee was, that's why I couldn't see them. So I'm going to bring you in a bit closer. Down a bit. Grab hold of these. I think it's that. 5 or, yeah. I'll just hold that and undo it, hopefully, yeah. And hopefully that don't break off. Stiff. That is very stiff. And just take your time. You don't want any of this breaking. Right, stick that in our little box. Take off the washer. This is a normal thread, right hand to tighten, left to undo. So I'm going to stick it on my gun with a 27 in reverse, and hopefully that will get that. Look at that. They're worth their weight in gold. This is just a cheap little one. You know, how hard is that? Not hard at all, is it? So that washer will keep. This nut, that's for the bin. And we'll be getting a nice shiny stainless steel one for that. Right, so we'll take off our bracketry. And we shall be sticking this on and pulling our hub off. So we'll just need to undo the bolt in the middle so it clears. A little bit more than that. It is with them. This floats and it's very hard to get this lined up. I think I might have to get a M7 in that one. I'm not very happy with that thread. And last thing I want to do is cross thread these bolts. 2, 3. This can happen, you know, when you get stuff powder coated. The powder coat goes in on all the threads. So let's get an M7. That could be one there. Wow. After all the messing, we got one that's straight there. So stick that in there. Clear. We're only clearing out the thread, so it should go like this one. Nice and easy. Don't force it when it stops like that. Just clear it out. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Clearing all the free threads out. When I send a hub for stove enamelling or powder coating, I put old Vespa side casing bolts in, because they're basically just screw in like this, and when you get it back you don't care about them anyway. So in fact I know where there's a couple I could show you. They get coated and all you do is unscrew them like that, and then you've got nice clean threads that you had before. That's tight, so undo that one. I think it's that one that's still got the powder coat in it by the looks of it. So what I'm going to do is clear off these, and that one there I can see is has got powder coat in the thread. Well, we should be able to clear that out. It always makes me laugh when you see, you know, like shows where they just go all the way in on a, you know, when they're cutting a thread. That's not the way I was taught. You clean it out like I'm doing. Clean the tool. If you need to use some lubrication, go again. because they do get gunged up. I mean, I can feel that's cutting. So do a 2 or 3 cuts and come back a couple. It takes longer, but that's in all the way. But you know, you are doing a proper job. So that one's easy. So is that. So we've got our 3 studs again. Put these back in again, and as I say, just do them a bit at a time. And what I normally do is, you get a socket or a spanner. We'll get a spanner, which I've just chopped down. I'm sure that's the 11, is it? No, that's a 10. So what we can do is just try and centre it and just put these on a couple of turns at a time. As I say, you'd need a very thin wall socket for these. I don't know why they've done it like that. Pretty bad design really when you look at it. So we'll do one. That's more or less where I want that one. I spin that round, do that one. Let's do it quicker. I want this one. There's always one that doesn't quite have enough room. It doesn't make any difference, it'll still work for us. Again, these are all jobs where when you're doing them with no camera on, take seconds. They really do. That rear hub washer's going in with the rest of the screws from that engine. Like I say, we don't have to go too mad with tightening these. And if I get a 17mm socket, that's it's getting tight. So maybe I didn't go deep enough with the thread. The other 2 went straight all the way in. Well, that's in. No, it's not. A little bit more. Right, that's tight. Tighten up that one. Tighten up that one. We'll get a 17mm socket for our gun. As I say, you can use a torque wrench or a bar or whatever you want. And 17's already out, isn't it? Somewhere. That's on the ratchet. I'll take that off and put that up there. And then all we have to do is tighten up. I don't know why, but we need that to go on there a bit better than it is. There you go, 1 hub off. The easy way. Nobody sweated. Oh, I'm just going to reverse that. Yeah. And then I've just got to undo these again. If we get them loose enough that the puller can move around, then I can get the hand. I'll get that socket off. Just the socket's a bit stuck to the tool at the moment, so what we need to do now is get the cone out. Try and keep the cone with the hub. That's a tip. Right, get a bigger screwdriver under that. Yeah, I was going to say I did have a bigger one here. And again, all I'm doing is getting the screwdriver behind the cone and putting some weight on it. It's coming slowly. It feels a bit greased up, to be honest, that's it. And behind that you've got a little spacing washer. You can buy these in different thicknesses and they just slightly offset the rear hub towards you. So if you're running a bigger tyre and wheel, you need bigger ones of them. So they'll go in our little boxes as well. Now we can strip down the oh, we've got a broken circlip there. Oh dear, bodgy.